Welcome back to another You-Centered podcast. This is actually the first podcast of 2020. Obviously, we changed decades, and we're excited about what the next year and obviously the next decade is going to take us here at the U-Center. And today I have two guests that are going to be joining us for the weekly podcast, and it is Hannah Rogers and Will Servino, who have just been notified and informed that they have been chosen by the Youth Center staff as our Youth of the Year. This is a huge accomplishment that we honor every December, and they will be actually honored in front of 300 plus people at our annual auction in March. So first of all, Hannah and Will, thanks for coming on the Youth Centered podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Rick.
Thank you for having us.
So why don't we start with you, Will? Obviously I've known you and Hannah since you guys were young, but a lot of people in town may not know who you are. So a little bit of bio of who is Will Servino?
Yeah, so I'm a senior at the North Andover High School. I'm a member of the varsity indoor track team, varsity lacrosse team, and I love coming to the youth center on weekends, working with the 4th and 5th graders. I'm also a part of the DECA at the youth center, and at the high school, as well as the math team.
Absolutely. And Hannah, who is Hannah Rogers?
I'm also currently a senior at the North Andover High School. Believe it or not, I moved to North Andover when I was 3. I used to live in Haverhill, which is crazy to think about. I'm playing basketball currently. I used to play soccer. Growing up, always playing basketball and soccer throughout my youth years. And yeah.
Obviously, you guys have done a lot of things in the community that we'll talk a little bit more about that. But let me talk about first when we brought you guys in. And this is a unique situation because we've been doing this for 5 or 6 years now, and we always pick one youth. And the real difficulty this year was we started out with 11 very, very worthy candidates. And my staff broke it down. We started planning on this in October, and we always plan on announcing it during Christmas vacation week. And my staff came to a stalemate. They basically had graded you two as the two top, and that they really couldn't separate. So we did a little bit of fast dancing and working with our Joseph N. Herman Youth Center, Inc. To talk about the little bit of a quandary we had, but also a good thing that we actually felt that we should be honoring 2 Youth of the Year this year. So we will probably not be doing this every year, but and they're not technically the boy Youth of the Year or the girl Youth of the Year. They are the co-Youth of the Year. And we're going to be honoring you, as I said, in March. So when we brought you in, let's start with Hannah. What did you think you were being brought in for, and what was your initial reaction when we announced, and we had your mother there, of being the Youth of the Year? What did you feel?
I felt accomplished. When I got a text from Rick saying, first it was, we were on a call about brick skating, and he said, is my mom off work tomorrow? I was like, oh my gosh, I'm definitely getting brought in because I did something wrong. I'm getting fired. But then hearing and seeing Will and hearing Rick say that we got Youth of the Year, I just felt really accomplished, because the Youth Center has always been there for me, and I've put a lot of work and volunteered a lot. Just knowing that they loved me here and getting youth, I just feel so accomplished.
And your mother was on the verge of tears.
Yes. I kept having to hit her leg.
Which was really nice. And we started doing this last year with Sydney, Pennsylvania. We had her mother, and we actually had her grandmother in there. And Will, we tried to connect with your mother, but I think your mother was working that day or wasn't around. So you came in on your own. Mm-hmm. What did you think you were being brought in for, and what was your feelings?
I personally thought I was in trouble for something. It's never really like an easy thing to hear, oh yeah, come in on this random day, on a random like Thursday or something, and you don't know what's going on. And like Demi asked for my mom to come in too. I'm like, oh God, am I in trouble or something? Mm-hmm. Then I see Hannah, and it's like, oh, I think we did something good. So we go to the lobby, and they tell us we won Youth of the Year, and I feel very accomplished because I put so much time into the youth center, volunteered a lot, and it's awesome that it really paid off in the end.
So, when we brought you both in, and this is a big day for us. We always do it during Christmas week because it's a little bit of a dead week here, and it's a big thing for my staff. So we told them to all be in their offices, and we brought them out into the lounge when you guys were here. But they wanted to be part of this, and I'm talking Lauren, Brenna, Kyle and Demi. Obviously, I got to share the news, but all four of those people are really big fans of both of you, and it gave them an opportunity in front of you to tell you why they thought you guys were the Youth of the Year. So, what was it like hearing the adults in this building here tell you why they think you're unbelievable candidates?
It felt really great. You know, I've been here maybe for like 3 or 4 years now. I've worked with Beans for a couple summers, Brenna obviously through MVP, and just felt really good to hear the kind words they had for me and Hannah as well.
Yeah, it's just great knowing like you have a special connection with everyone here, but it's just nice hearing like what they think about you.
Absolutely. And as I said, we will be honoring you fully with your families at our auction in March, which is an annual event we hold at the Burrows. We'll have 300 plus parents there. It's a great night that we raise and try to raise close to $100,000 that night. And we also honor you two as the Youth of the Year, but we also give out a number of scholarships, the Joseph N. Herman Youth Center, Inc. scholarships, as well as the Bill Meckel Memorial scholarships also. So there'll be, besides yourself, there'll be 5 to 6 other high school seniors that will be honored that day with your parents, and it's a special night on that. You have a big job that night. You have to address the crowd of 300 plus people, and we're gonna actually have you do that together, which is again unique, something we'd never done. And when we talked about that, we found out that I didn't know that both of you live on the same street.
We do. Yep.
So logistically, getting together to put the plans for this speech should not be too hard, even if it's a snowstorm. I'm sure you can get to each other's house on that. So, what do you guys think about having to address a crowd of 300 parents?
You know, I'm not really much of a public speaker, but I feel like it's going to be a great challenge. It's a great opportunity for me and Hannah to reflect on what we have done for the youth center. And it's also like a privilege for us as well, because not many people have the ability to come up on stage and talk to a bunch of parents and stuff about what they've done. So it's really good.
And it's kind of nice just like ending the year strong. Like the youth center for me has personally gotten me out of my shell, and even like giving a speech, it's a perfect example of how getting out of my shell it's gonna be. And with Will by my side, we're gonna do just fine.
Yeah,
you guys are gonna be great. I have no worries about that. And I was the one person that didn't say a ton about both of you when we announced it, because I get to do that night. Mm-hmm. So I'll be the initial speaker in introducing you to the parents of North Andover, but also doing a little background of my involvement with you, which. I'm an emotional guy. I think both of you know that. So this will be tough for me, as it is every year, talking about how special you guys are. So let's switch gears here a little bit. You've mentioned a couple of things outside of the youth center. So we know what you guys do for the youth center, the volunteer work, the community service. Both of you have been part-time employees here, the constant giving back that you guys have done. But tell me a little bit about the stuff that you're involved either at North Andover High School or even just in the community in general.
Yeah, so one thing I've been a part of for all 4 years of high school is DECA, and that's basically like an entrepreneurship club where me and my partner, which is Jackson Burbrick, he was on here a couple of weeks ago, we go to like Merrimack College and we have like a mock trial, I guess, and we like try to sell an idea to the judge. And him and I have qualified for states in Boston the past 2 years, so it's really fun. One of my favorite clubs.
Awesome. And I saw you. I just left the high school. I saw you having track practice.
We did.
So tell us a little bit about what are your events in track?
Yeah, so in track I run the 55-meter dash and the 300 and sometimes the 4x4. Personally, my favorite's the 55, but wherever my coach Nugent has me to be, I'll just go there.
And I've told you this, and I've told the community this, that I'm very impressed with the culture with our track program. I was waiting for the basketball guys to get out of the locker room, and I was actually watching you guys, and there's so many people involved with the track program, adults and kids, and it's got a great culture there. So, well, good luck with track the rest of the year. Hannah, a little bit about you outside of the youth center.
Yeah, so unfortunately I'm not involved with a lot of school activities, but I do every 4 years the Relay for Life, which is just raising money for cancer. But I've also done this past year is the Pan Mass Challenge, where you raise the minimum of $4,000. I did this with my mom for her mom, actually. It was very nice to do it with her. You raise a minimum of $4,000. You train for 84 miles, a bike race. We did it went from Wellesley to Bourne, and yeah, just like giving back to the community was great. Other than the youth center.
Yeah, I loved watching it. I know you and your mom are doing this the last couple of years. Don't be afraid to get Connor out on a bike at some point.
Yeah, we got to.
But you guys have done a lot raising money. I think it's a great experience that you and your mother have doing it together. I know your father's involved also. But let's talk about your parents for a second. So you leave. Your mother obviously found out that day.
Yeah.
Will, you obviously informed folks when you went
Yep.
home. What was the reaction from your family, siblings, extended family that you were the Youth of the Year?
Yeah, so as soon as I got home, I called my dad, tell him I won this awesome award, and it came with a scholarship as well, and he was really proud of me. He was really proud of all the work I've done for the youth center, and same goes for my mom as well. I called her as soon as after I called my dad, and she was also really impressed with me, and she was really proud of me, what I accomplished.
That's awesome. How about the Rogers family?
My mom could not keep her mouth quiet. She was so excited for me. It made me feel like a lot better knowing that she was proud of me. We went home. Well, we had to run some errands that day, but when we got home, told my dad, he was like awesome. I couldn't hear the rest of the day. I was like, oh my God, you got Youth of the Year. They kept saying that to me. She couldn't keep quiet with my family. I was like, Mom, we can't tell anyone. He goes, it's just family, it's just family. I'm so proud of you.
Your mother was a little concerned with that. We
Yeah.
did ask you, so we announced it to you guys on 12/23,
Yeah.
and we asked you not to publicly make it until we made our public announcement on the 26th. We had a big week. We had a great podcast with Anthony Sideri. We had some number of other things that we were actually focusing on this week, and we wanted to kind of have you have your own day for it, so we asked you to hold out the 26th. But I did tell your mother it was okay over Christmas dinner to tell initial family, but not put it on Facebook or any other social media things. But obviously, in talking to you guys about your family, it sounds like they're extremely proud of you, and this is awesome. And we look forward to obviously being with your parents that night also, as they share with the rest of the 300 people this honor on that. So let's talk a little bit. Start with you, Hannah. What happens after you graduate North Andover High School in June? What are some of your plans going forward? We assume college. Any definite plans at this point?
So no definite plans. I know I want to go into nursing, so I applied to 10 since nursing is a really hard thing to get into. I've heard back from 2. I've heard back from UNE and Rivier, but my top choices, and I haven't heard back from any, is Fairfield University in Connecticut, Quinnipiac, which is also in Connecticut, and then St. A's.
Nice. What type of a nurse do you want to be?
I'm thinking about like an emergency room nurse, like a nurse
Nice.
practitioner.
Yeah, you'll be awesome with that. You're
Thank
very empathetic, and I know when you work the front desk here and one of our middle school kids need an ice pack and everything, you're quick to
Yeah.
take care of that. So I think nursing is in your future. How about you, Will? What are the future plans for you?
Yeah, so basically throughout my entire life at school, I've loved one subject, and it's math. I love solving problems, getting from point A to point B. So I think I'm going to go into like civil engineering. That's my goal. And so I applied to maybe like 10 schools just around here, because we have some pretty good engineering programs around here. So, and I've heard back from a couple. I've heard back from UMass Amherst, UMass Lowell, UVM, and WPI, and I've all got accepted to those. So, but there's no definite plans yet, because my top school I'm trying to get into is Northeastern University in Boston, because they have a great co-op program as well. So I hope I hear back from them in a couple of months.
Well, you guys have some great options. Every one of the schools you guys both mentioned are great higher learning institutions, and I'm sure you guys will do great with that. I have no doubt about that. So both of you actually work for us in the summertime with our amazing summer program. Will, you started out as a referee for the Joe Walsh Summer League, and this past summer you were at Summer Fun.
Yep.
And Hannah, you've been at Summer Fun. What's it like working here in the summertime in particular?
Oh, it's the best. I look forward to coming to work every single day. You know, Rick always says, get a job you love, and you don't have to work a day in your life. And that really stuck with me, because I love showing up at Sargent every day, Summer Fun, being with the kids, having a great time, and also being like a leader to them as well, and teaching them things that they can't really learn in school, such as like respect and things like that. It's really fun.
For sure.
Yeah, just seeing the smile on their faces every day, no matter what they're going through. You know, like some kids, I'm at Sargent, so I have the young kids, but like some kids, it might be like the best like 4 hours they have in their lives,
Yeah.
and just making their day better just goes to show. And seeing like when parents come pick up and on their cars it says thank you so much at the end of the summer, it just means a lot.
Yeah, it's. I think you have to be part of us to understand what it's really like during the summer. I know our kids and their parents that are the recipients of it, preach about it. I think we have a great culture here. We've put a lot of time and effort into making it the best summer ever, and obviously you two are a big part of that. And next summer when you show up there, they're going to know you're the reigning youth of the year. So, tell me a little bit about what it was like. What was it like growing up in North Andover? I mean, I use the word kumbaya sometimes. I don't think it's ever perfect. I don't think everything at the youth center or school or in society in general is perfect. But tell me some of the things that you think have been great growing up in this town, and maybe some things you'd like us to take a look at how to even make it better.
So I've grown up like with the youth programs like basketball and soccer, and yes, there has been ups and downs, but personally, like, if you want your kid to go through youth programs, you should, because they meet so many new friends and they could be like lifelong friends.
Good. What about you, Will?
Yeah, so I've been a part of a lot of different sports growing up. Like I played basketball, lacrosse, baseball, and that's just been really fun to me. I've made a lot of new friends that I wouldn't have made if I didn't do the sports. I also was part of like the youth center and stuff throughout middle school. I came here like a lot of the time over like the school year and stuff, and then also during high school. I've been coming here a lot too, so it's really good to have a youth center in town.
Sure. As you look in your life right now, and you guys have been really good mentors to some of our young kids, who's some of the adults in your life, family, teachers, people that have kind of maybe helped shape things for you and help be mentors to you? Who would be some of those people? How about you, Will?
I would have to say I had a history teacher last year, Mr. Van Horn. He's a great teacher, and he really taught me to look at life through a different lens, like look at different perspectives in life. Don't just have like tunnel vision. And I really took that to heart, and I've been like being more like careful about what I see and what I say and stuff, and he's really taught me to be a better person.
Nice. How about you, Hannah?
Yeah, I definitely have a few. For a teacher, it's definitely Miss Wadika. She's a math teacher. If I like go on stress about a test, she like calms me down. I can easily go to her if I have issues. But definitely you, Rick and Demi have been there for me with basketball or youth council with Demi. Just very nice to have you guys.
Well, thanks for saying that. I want to ask both of you. We heard you talk about your parents' reaction. I want to start with you, Will. Mm-hmm. How big of influence have your parents been on you?
They've been a huge influence to me. I mean, they've been by my side for my entire life. I can't thank them enough for all of like the lessons they've taught me, all of like the leadership they've given me, and just they're awesome. I love them so much. They're always there for me, and I can't thank them enough for everything.
I look forward to meeting your parents. Yeah. I don't really know your parents, but I look forward to meeting them in March. Hannah, obviously, I know your parents really well. Obviously, with Connor coming up through the ranks here, and then obviously your mother and father have been very involved with us. How important are they to you?
They mean the world to me. They're right there by my side, but for figuring out stuff, they kind of just let me like figure out, even since when I was a little kid, figure out my own ways. But they're there to hold me up. Nice.
Now, let me ask you, if you were me, you're running the youth center here, and you guys have been involved with as members, as employees, as high school kids, with younger kids. Be me for a day. What would you change, Will? What would you kind of maybe add here that we need to take a look at?
That's a really good question. There's a lot of good things about the youth center and stuff, but oh my god, I think one thing I would have to change is maybe. I would say maybe add more. I know we had this last year, but I hope we bring it back as the homework help. I feel like it's like a great idea. I think Beans made it. He basically what we do is we like go in the conference room, and we have high schoolers help out the middle school children with their homework, and it's just a really good way to give back and be a leader to the kids and like mentor them as well and help them.
That's a really good thing. We do have it pretty informally, and in any of the people that work upstairs during the week actually help with the homework. But the program you were talking about, we actually had as kind of a separate spot. Mm-hmm. We're excited to say that we're going to be expanding the youth center in 2023.
Nice.
And with that is going to be an academic room, and that would be geared to strictly doing homework. And bringing a lot of our high school kids like you in to help the kids out or whatever. So yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of things going on here, but I know there's certain areas in academics, in some of our, arts and programs that we're looking to expand, and that would be something on that. What about you,
Yeah,
Hannah?
that was definitely a good point. I've definitely seen a lot more people doing homework. Unfortunately, when we first started it, we would have to like pull kids in to do it. But I've definitely seen this past year like a lot more kids will do it, so that should be a good thing when you guys expand it. One other thing, it's just a small thing. I don't think just like seeing parents trip over the bags, just have like somewhere to put them. And I know me and Lauren and Brenna always talk about it. We need somewhere to put their bags.
So that's been a problem we've had since we've opened the building, and it's been the concern of our fire chief. We are looking with the expansion to have an area which would actually be able to hang all the backpacks. And again, I don't want people to think they can't literally get through the door, but we are always working hard to make sure that they're put in certain areas. So yeah, we're going to have that as part of our plan too, from a structural standpoint, that having a place where kids can actually put their backpacks and stuff. So, well, thanks for the feedback on that. I want to ask you a little bit. You both speak glowingly of your work during the summer. Tell me a quick story of what it's like being a counselor to a young kid.
Yeah, so this past summer I actually had the opportunity to be a mentor to a child with a severe heart condition, and it was just amazing. I was with him like every day, every step of the way, every second, and me and him developed a really good bond over the summer. And at first I would never have thought I would be able to do that, but looking back, it just I wouldn't have changed anything. It's an amazing thing that like counselors like us, we have the ability to change people's lives in a positive manner. Well,
it was an incredible story. So this young man, very nice boy, family needed assurances that the doctors for this young man needed assurances that if this kid was going to be in a summer program, that it would be a facility that had an AED. If anything was to go wrong, and obviously have some staff that are trained, and we brought the fire department in to help train you guys, and you guys did a phenomenal job. I got a wonderful email from the parents that it was the best summer this kid's had in terms of running around, and he was an extremely active kid.
Yeah, too. I know. Yeah, he was
constantly running around, but it all goes part of our all-inclusiveness that we're looking to do. And this was a kid that if we didn't be able to provide the services, might not have had the summer he had. So kudos to you, as well as the rest of the staff that actually did that. And obviously a big shout out to our fire department and the sergeant's school and having the AED and things like that. And one of the big things that's come out of this, Will, is we wrote a grant, and we're going to have a portable AED at all of our sites. Just in the worst case scenario, if obviously hopefully we'll never have to use it, but this was great. But that was a special kid, and you did a great job with that.
Thank you.
How about you, Hannah?
Just great. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Just like the positive energy the kids have, and you think sometimes it's a little bit too energetic, and you're like, wow, my parents. You think about yourself when you were a little kid, and you're like, wow, my parents, they really can handle a lot. You just again thankful for parents, just the kids. One time they fall, they get right back up and they're smiling. It's just a great positive energy they have.
For sure. You guys are both very close to a number of my staff. Will, obviously you work with Brenna with MVP. You're extremely close with Beans.
Yep.
Hannah, you and Lauren have a connection like I've never seen.
Yeah.
And Lauren is our newest staff member. She just celebrated her 6 months here. But you two have an incredible connection, which is, for me, great to see. It's all part of, I want my staff to have amazing relationships and with you guys. What's it going to be like for you? And I want to ask the same question to Will. Like, you're going to head off to school, next chapter of your life, new journey, very exciting time. But you will also be probably saying goodbye to us. I mean, I know maybe you'll come back in the summer, maybe you won't. But as you leave 6 months from now and you walk out the door here, a little bit about what this place has meant to you. How about you, Hannah?
It's meant a lot. Like I've said before, it brought me out of my shell. I'm close. I'm definitely gonna still be in contact with you guys because it just meant the world. One thing that I regret is I didn't get into leadership programs in middle school. The bright side about that is it would be a little bit easier to let go of you guys. I feel like if I'd known you guys for that long, leadership programs, I couldn't say goodbye. It's just meant a lot.
Sure. How about you, Will?
Yeah, I know. being a part of this town, it's been great to have a youth center here. Not many towns can say that they have a youth center and they can go after school, but I'm really going to miss this place once I head out. It's meant the world to me. I've learned so many things coming to the youth center, learned so many life lessons, made so many strong bonds and relationships with people that I wouldn't have made if I hadn't come here. So just a really great place, and I'm going to miss it a lot.
Absolutely. Got a couple of last questions for you, then we'll wrap it up. In terms of the kids, the kids that are coming up, kids that may be in the middle school now, or kids that are going to be going to the middle school, if you could look back to your middle school years now, what would you say to a younger Will Servino or a younger Hannah Rogers, or in particular those kids you see around here every day? What kind of advice do you give them as they head into their high school careers?
I would definitely tell them, don't be afraid to become a leader, because the world, I think we need a lot more leaders. And I would just say get involved as well, because like the youth center, they offer so many great programs here, from MVP to youth council to everything in between. Just a great experience I've had, and not many towns offer these types of like programs and stuff. So you should really get into it, and it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. What about you, Hannah?
Yeah, definitely get involved as soon as you can, like with the middle school leadership programs. Even just come to youth center. The youth center is a great resource. It really changes your life in a positive way.
Awesome. I want to ask you a question, Will. You're part of our second year program, the MVP,
Yeah.
Our mentoring program, and it's something that's grown incredibly. We're so proud of it. It has 20 matches now.
Awesome.
You were obviously one of the first matches. We joke sometimes that you're the MVP of MVP. Talk to me a little bit about the relationship you have with your mentee. Brenna does a great job of posting pictures of you guys out together. I'll be honest with you, I don't know everything you can do. I assume some of it's ice skating and things like that.
Yeah.
But what I look at is the picture of you and this kid, and the smiles, and quite frankly, the relationship you built.
Yeah.
I can see it in both your eyes, and I can tell there's a lot of love there. So talk to me a little bit about what's it like being a mentor to this young man.
Yeah, we have a really strong bond. I mean, like 2 years ago or 1 year ago, I didn't think I'd develop this great of a bond with a seventh grader. But it's just a great experience. We usually go like hiking or ice skating, or we went to SOGO Action a couple times, and it's been very, very rewarding. It's a great experience. I know that mentors are supposed to like teach the mentee stuff, but he's taught me stuff as well that I wouldn't have learned if I hadn't joined that.
So you've gotten as much out of it as he has. That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to give you both the final word. This is something we give our guests all the time. So I'm hoping there's a large, different group of people listening to this. And we know your parents are going to listen, and your friends, and our teachers at the high school love this podcast, and I'm sure they'll be listening to it. But what's your final word as you're about to head out here and we close the door on the year 2019 and they end up another decade? What's your final word, Hannah?
I just want to say thank you, everyone who has been involved in my life. I don't need to say names. You guys know who you guys are, and it's been a great time with you guys.
How about you, Will?
Yeah, it's been a great year at the youth center. I wouldn't have wanted to have it any other way. I've made a lot of great relationships and I've learned a lot of things. So it's been a very good experience, and I hope I can learn more in 2020 and beyond.
Well, you two are awesome. You know, I love both of you. The young adults you've become is amazing. When this was decided, I was very pleased. Can't think of two better people, the most worthy people for it this year. I know I'm really looking forward to hearing your combined speech at the auction. So, and as we've talked about it, and let us know if you need any help. But I'm sure you guys are going to be able to pull this off. Great. It has been an amazing ride with you guys. We're going to follow you well beyond your high school years, and I know for a fact Will Servino and Hannah Rogers are going to be extremely successful people. And did you know, Hannah, that nursing is probably the number one degree of summer fun employees? I actually have, I think it's over 30 females and males, not just females, that are now nurses in Boston City hospitals and suburban hospitals. So it is amazing how many nurses we've had. We've had a lot of engineers too, Will, but nurses is amazing. And as I say, as I get older every year, it's good to have this many nurses who used to work for me. 'Cause
Exactly.
you may have to take care of me at some point in time. But I want to thank you again for coming on, and congratulations once again on behalf of everybody in the town of North Andover as being our Youth of the Year.
Thank you so much.
This wraps up our first podcast of 2020. We've got a lot of things planned. We've gotten some good feedback in terms of what some other topics. I had mentioned last week, Anthony Sederi and I will be doing a podcast every 6 weeks on addiction. We have some guests we're lining up, so we're going to take that to a whole different level. But if there are other topics or other people in town that you'd like to hear from, would love to have them on the Youth Centered podcast. As we enter into 2020, we're going to try to obviously continue to do this every single week. So again, I want to thank the incredible Will and Hannah for coming on today. And as we finish every podcast, we always say too much passion is never enough passion.